President Vladimir Putin says Russia is ready to provide uninterrupted fuel supplies for India, despite objections from President Donald Trump, who wants Delhi to stop buying oil from Moscow. Speaking during a joint news conference in Delhi, Mr. Putin held the special partnership with India. He questioned why India should be punished for buying Russian oil by the United States when the US itself buys nuclear fuel from Moscow. Washington accuses Delhi of financing Russia's war on Ukraine by buying Russian oil. Earlier, the two leaders held talks on trade and defense and signed a number of deals. President Putin said the agreements reached will deepen Indian-Russian partnership. Prime Minister Modi said he and Mr. Putin also discussed Ukraine and that India had stood for peace since the beginning. President Putin was given a 21-gun salute as he arrived at the presidential palace in the capital. It's Mr. Putin's first visit to India since Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Well, let's hear directly from the two leaders now. Here's what Mr. Putin had to say about supplying fuel to India in the face of that pressure from President Trump.
We are also seeing successful partnership in energy. Russia is a reliable supply of oil, gas, coal, and everything that is required for the development of India's energy. We are ready to continue uninterrupted shipments of fuel for the fast-growing Indian economy.
Well, during the news conference, President Putin also held what he called the special and privileged partnership between Russia and India.
These talks were very useful. They were held in a constructive and a friendly atmosphere, in the spirit of the special and privileged partnership between Russia and India. I would like to point out that we and Prime Minister Modi have established a close working dialogue. In September this year, we met during the CEO summit in Tianjin. We are regularly having telephone calls.
Well, for his part, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said India and Russia have reached an economic cooperation program that will last until 2030.
Over the last 8 decades, the world has seen many ups and downs. Humanity has had to endure countless challenges and crises. And during all of these, the India-Russia friendship has stood firm like a pole star. These relations are rooted in mutual respect and deep trust and have always stood the test of time. Today, we discussed all aspects of cooperation to make this foundation even stronger. Elevating economic cooperation to new heights is our shared priority.
Well, Mr. Modi said the two leaders had talked about Ukraine and that India is ready to contribute to peace efforts.
Today, we also discussed regional and global issues. With regard to Ukraine, India has stood for peace from the beginning. We welcome all efforts being made to find a peaceful and lasting solution to this matter. India has always stood ready to contribute to these efforts and will remain ready to contribute in the future as well.
Well, our correspondent in Delhi, Davina Gupta, told me that despite American pressure on India, Russian and Indian relations are deepening.
Strengthening of ties, and there is a number to it. $100 billion by 2030 is what the economic cooperation between two sides, they're hoping for it. We're looking at different areas, defense and energy at the core of it. But beyond that, there are agreements which have been signed for agriculture, education, healthcare and technology. And even there is a push for more Russians coming to India, with India relaxing some of its visa norms and providing e-visa for Russians here. Russia and their businesses in turn are asking for skilled forces from India to come to their country and fill the labor shortage that has occurred because of the war in Ukraine. We've heard from business leaders at this business summit in the conclave that I attended earlier, where there were agreements being signed and there were conversations around how doctors, engineers and skilled workers from India could fill that gap in Russia. So it's all coming at a time where there is pressure, as you rightly said, Catherine, from the US on both countries. We've seen the Western sanctions on Russia and to come to the negotiating table and end the war in Ukraine. And that's why India is an important market for Russia to supply its energy and defense equipment and get an open door for its own businesses to expand here. For India, it's a crucial moment as well, because India is looking at steep tariffs of almost 50% that were imposed in August because India continues to buy that discounted Russian crude, which it says it needs for its own energy security. So this visit sending a strong signal from India as well that it's not going to be pressured down because of those tariffs from the US. If anything else, these two countries have moved closer and stronger.
Mr. Modi also saying that he's ready to contribute to peace efforts in Ukraine. What does that mean?
Well, India has been repeating this stand, that it stands for negotiations and peaceful resolution of the conflict in Ukraine. But it needs more action from India's side. There were hopes that India's Prime Minister, who wants to position himself as this leading voice from the global south, he calls himself a Vishwa Guru or a global leader, that he'll be able to play some part in negotiations with Ukraine. For now, it seems the US has taken that role and are in the thick of those negotiations. From the Indian side, we've just seen these statements, but at the same time a commitment that it will continue its trade with Russia. So it needs to walk the talk is what experts have been calling out India for. But domestically, Catherine, it's playing well for India's Prime Minister, who's being seen as a strong man for not taking US side and at the same time keeping the oldest ally, which is Russia, closer during this time as well.
And that was the BBC's Davina Gupta reporting from Delhi there.